up, everybody? What's up?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
How y'all doing today?
How is
Tanisha,
it?
how are you?
I'm good. How are you, JG? How you
I
doing?
am, I am good. I'm tired.
Me too. Me too.
After the show, I'm going to take a nappy nap.
Yeah, I'm tired too.
Man, but it's nighttime for you. It's daytime for me, though.
Right, right. But you can take your nap and you still got some more time, right?
Yeah,
If I take a nap, I'm going to bed. It's
man.
bedtime.
I'm napping like I got a woman pregnant or something. Like, that's,
Okay.
you remember how
Okay.
they said, why you sleep? You got somebody pregnant because you're sleeping during the day? Remember that old saying and shit? Like, I'm like,
Wait a
shit.
minute. I've never heard this saying
Are you
before.
serious?
I'm serious. Is it Jamaican?
No, I've heard that more in American than I heard that in Jamaican, West Indian culture.
Really? I've never heard that. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out why you sound so low, but it's all good. Let's keep it. Well, hold on, let me
Well,
see.
I sound low. Let
Oh
me.
no, it ain't you. I got it. We good now.
We good? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we good. Somebody turn the mic down on this. There, not turn the But anyway, so we are back to our fans, and you sent me some topics. Oh my gosh,
I
and one of
did.
them is very, very alarming.
And what is that?
It explains some certain behaviors.
Does it have to do with babies?
To who?
Does it have to do with babies?
Oh no,
No.
has to do with one of our black billionaires.
Oh,
That article,
that one. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I am like,
That one is wild. And I don't know if he's speaking out of like a manic thing or if it's true. If it's true, I'm like, what is the statute of limitations?
there ain't no statute of limitation because they're the same age. It was incestuous. They'll practice on each other according to the article. Let's bring up the article so people let's
Yeah.
bring it in. Let's bring in the first topic so people
Yep.
understand what we're talking about here. This is
Exactly.
hold on. Let me get it together. Bam. The topic we are speaking on is Kanye West, how he details a years long incestuous relationship with an unnamed cousin in his latest social media outburst. In a post on X, Ye claims his new song Cousins is about how he and a now incarcerated cousin sexually experimented with each other. Let's go. Let's see here. Then it kind of can please provide email. See, we ain't gonna do all that. So this is according to the Chicago Tribune.
So I have a question. So were okay, I got a couple questions. Were they the same age? Um was it forced? Was it do you know what I'm trying to say? Yes, it was incestuous either way. But was someone great? You know what I'm trying to say?
Groped,
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to use
great.
that word. Like
Um,
I don't want us to get in trouble. That's why I use that
what
word.
they what they groomed, right?
Yes, groomed, great, groom. Yeah, in that situation, like
I have no idea. I don't even know the post. It's very shocking to know that. Um, it's shocking, but it's unshocking because, like I said, explain certain behaviors of his. I don't never been around him personally, but just um, if it is a rant, if it's a manic rant, he does need some help. If
he does.
it's a rant that the best, I really don't know how to put it. I mean, you know what? That's his business. That's his business. He putting it out there. Now
Well,
people gonna
I would say this. I would say it's not because he's telling us about it, and I'm unclear if I'm unclear. Either way it goes, they were underage. It was incestuous. They were underage, right? So that's like those two things. And I guess I'm unclear if he was the aggressor, if the other cousin was the aggressor, because it would explain some things, like you said, right? But I'm
Mhm.
unclear. And then he's talking about it like you need to tell law enforcement and a therapist.
There's established your limitations on that, and honest to God, truth. Um, he needs a therapist, yes, but you can't tell. You know, well, you said, excuse me, did you say something? You can't tell me nothing. That's one of his lyrics. So
Yeah. He needs a mental health professional, not even a therapist. He needs a psychiatrist,
now
right?
this is the other part. Hey, Kanye, is this a way to market the song?
But that is horrible. And for a couple reasons why I say that. Because I don't think we talk enough about men who are groomed and raped. We don't talk enough
Okay,
about it.
what's up with you in this word great? I'm like, what's
The,
up with you in
the,
this word? Because I
because
don't know this word.
because the reason why I say the words like that is because
Yeah.
on things like TikTok and YouTube, if you use the real words, they will mute your video. They will mute it and they will censor your stuff. That's why people use like unalive and certain words they won't
Yeah.
use. They'll say SA for
Mm-hmm.
standing for sexual
Saw,
assault.
saw.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm saying it in that way.
So they
That's
basically taking our freedom of speech away.
well, it is what happens, especially on like TikTok, especially. TikTok is really, really bad with it, followed by Facebook and then Instagram. But when people talk about certain sensitive topics like that, they use
Yes.
code words because they will take down they will take down your shit. They'll take it down.
Mm.
Yep,
Mm.
yep, they will.
Fudge 'em.
So I try to be very careful, but I don't think, this is a different to me, this is like something that we don't talk about enough, that men don't feel comfortable talking about this particular topic. I get it. I don't think we deal with it as a community in terms of men who are groomed by women and also men. We don't talk about it enough. So like this is, I think, a space where we're dealing with it and we're talking about it in
Mm-hmm.
light of what Kanye is saying, but it's not the proper venue. You know what I'm trying to say? You need a
Correct.
trained mental health professional. Putting it on a, you know, putting it out there as like a song is not the way to go.
That's how he deals with his problems. So be it, right?
Well, it's how he. I mean, it's how he deals with his problems, but it's also a crime. So if I take someone's life, I was getting ready to say unalive, and I put it on. I rap about it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So
I understand what you're saying. So I
yeah.
just look at the situation. That's his business. That's his problem. And I'm
Mm,
not being unempathetic or sympathetic to him. It's just he chose to put it out there. I mean, unfortunately, there's some people that can't shake molestation, no matter if it's from a cousin, uncle, or brother. You know what I'm saying? There's people who has to go through that torment and live like that. But for him to put it on his own, that's his business. How he want to do it.
it's
Those
triggering.
who have been, but for those who have been wronged in that type of way, I hope you have gotten the help you needed or seeking the help you needed, and don't put it in a song. Just find a way to fight through
Yeah,
it, and just make sure that it just doesn't happen to anybody that you are close to and love. That's it. That's
exactly.
the best way. That's
Exactly.
the best way to defeat it. And if you see that person, make sure you have a wooden stick or something, and kind of just go to town on them.
That well, both. I'm for street justice
Just go to town on them.
and for some jail justice.
Yeah.
Both of them. Both of them.
Get the justice you need, because obviously the criminal court system, the court system won't give it to you. Get the justice you
Right.
need. Do not unalive them. Do not unalive them. Okay. What happened to Tanisha? Oh, there you go. There we
Can
go.
you
So
hear
let's
me?
move
Hello.
on to the
Sorry,
next
having technical
topic.
difficulties. Can you hear me?
Let's move on to the next topic because before Trump decides to do a trade war
What
with France
happened?
on the internet and whatnot.
Let me come right back. I'm not sure what's going on here.
We can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, so let her fix that technical difficulty. I'll bring her back into the show. Now, for those of you who are with us, thank you for the likes. Always leave a comment, compliment. We appreciate you guys. So let's move forward to the next topic at hand. And this is one of the reasons why I don't like doing by myself because I need that back and forth. You know what I'm saying? There she goes. She's back in. Let's.
Difficulties here. Sorry.
There we go. Trump
There we
taxed
go.
France. So what happened
Back.
was, so what happened? Trump, the administration decided to do a trade war of internet with France. So that's why your thing went out.
That's why I went out.
That's why it went out.
They might check my phone when I come home, so I got to be careful.
And France said, "Kiss my boots."
Exactly. Exactly. Kiss their croissants, right?
Kiss my croissants. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Kanye, get the help you need, okay?
Yep.
So the next one I want to bring to the table is done by, this next story is done by somebody we all familiar with, you know, beautiful voice, beautiful face. Let's get her on the stage.
Now,
Let's see what she got to say.
Chrissy done found out. Why did Chrissy go to a DC secretary? On today's edition of Fuck Around and Find Out, we have Department of Homeland Security Secretary Chrissy Noem. Now, Chrissy done found out. Why did Chrissy go to a DC restaurant, had her bag with $3K in cash, checks, her passport, her work badge, and a few other items? Somebody got the bag. Somebody hit a lick. Somebody hit a fed lick. They did, but that is not the point of this. The point is, how are you going to secure some borders when you can't even secure your bag, girl? What's going on here? I know these are DEI hires. I know they are hires. They have to be. Somebody go check on old boy Pete. Check on the secretary of the alcohol cabinet. Pete is not okay. Pete is not all right because you can't secure your bag. I know you can't secure these borders. How are you going to possibly secure me? You can't. Girl, what's going on? And one more thing, another thing. Girl, what were you doing with $3K in a bag? Girl, what was that $3K for? Who walks around with $3,000 in cash on them? Who walks around with empty checks? I've not had a physical check since 2003. Come on, girl. You can talk to me. You can tell me. You can tell the FAAFO congregation. We will judge you. But girl, we gotta talk because we need to know some things.
Listen, I don't know what's going on because how you got 3 stacks in the bag? Your passport.
That was a trick off money, okay?
That was a trick off money. Oh,
that's
my
a trick
God.
off money, yeah.
Her trick off money.
Yes.
I'm like, was she doing a little insurance fraud? They're not paying her right because
no, I mean, you got 3 stacks in the bag, $3,000 in cash in your bag. You about to, and she accidentally left it at a DC restaurant. So she was going to meet up with whoever be stretching her out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only logical thing I can think of because she's paying that mother to give her some, you know what? It's probably, you know what? It's probably Pete Hegseth. You know, he stayed with the liquored up, you know, little Wang. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I don't know.
Hegseth be like, huh?
I don't know what's going on.
Hegseth be like,
somebody's not doing their job because
both of them ain't doing their job. Hegseth don't know how to keep national secrets out of people's mouths.
Right.
You heard that story, right?
What now?
You heard that. He do not know how to keep. He does not know how to keep national secrets out of other people's mouths. He is giving them information that he should not be giving them.
You're talking about Pete, right?
Pete Hegseth, the secretary of the liquor cabinet.
Yes. His wife and his brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were on a second Signal
chat group. Correct.
Group chat. Pete be drinking. We cannot expect rational things out of Pete.
Look who his boss is.
Exactly. That part.
So you expect him to be rational if his boss couldn't be rational?
Excuse me. I expect the person who is over our Defense Department got the nuclear code. Listen, he is nuclear code adjacent. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
He's nuclear code adjacent. Come on now, what you done sip the bottle. You've been drinking Jack Daniels since your feet hit the floor first thing in the morning.
So we got to ask our boy Vladimir Putin what he thinks about this. Hold on, sorry. Putin, what do you think about Pete Hegseth? Where you at, man? Let's remove. Let's add. There we go. That's what Vladimir thinks about Pete Hegseth in this situation. Thanks for the information, Pete.
What's the famous Russian vodka? He might send him some bottles. He can send him some.
You know he's sending them some bottles.
Right.
You know it's going to the airplane that he flies on. This is a gift from Vladimir Putin.
What is it called? Stochka or something?
It's called From Russia with Love.
From Russia with Love. From Putin with love.
Yes.
That's
what it's called.
Putin or Putin? What is that man's name?
It don't matter. Puking. It don't matter to me.
Poot. What
I
is
have no interest in going to Russia anytime soon. So
yeah,
I'm not trying to be unalived by Putin and his thugs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm good on that.
We would kind of stick out. I don't think we would quite blend in.
I know my big ass would stick out like a too. You could blend in a little bit. I can't.
I can't blend in.
I mean, you're a midget, so
I can't blend in.
You're a short person.
Yeah, but that's like a sea of
yeah, she's not the M word. I forgot you can't say that. She is not the M word. She's actually 5'1", 5'2", somewhere around there, right? Your height?
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like we can't. I feel like when you go to certain countries, like we're gonna stick out even more because everyone there is the same, right? Everyone there is kind of translucent.
Pasty.
Pasty. Exactly.
Got it.
So the melanin gonna stick out. Like
they don't have tans. They only get tans in 1 month.
Do they even get tans? I don't think their skin.
Have you ever seen a tanned Russian?
No, I don't think their skin can take the sun, and that's like no shade, right? Mm-hmm. We know that melanin, is a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that their skin.
Hold on. So it's a superpower. Black man.
Exactly.
Black woman.
Exactly, it is.
Person of color. Yeah. Superpower.
Exactly. It's a superpower. We need to have the M, like the Superman, with the S on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have the M there because it is a superpower.
I got you. So Putin, what you think again? What you think about? Okay, he's still waiting for him to type. All right, he's still typing to you. All right, Putin, we got you. Right. So let's move on to this next clip. Actually, yeah. So I can go and get my beef patty out the daggone oven so it don't burn up.
Okay. Okay, right. Beef patty. Which one you got? You got the golden crust?
Oh yeah. I believe it.
They're good.
I believe.
You got the cocoa bread?
Amazon Prime with an
no cocoa bread this time. 1 second. Let's get that.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos. This crosswalk is sponsored by Amazon Prime with an important message. Please don't tax the rich. Otherwise, all the other billionaires will move to Florida too. Wouldn't it be terrible if all the rich people left Seattle or got Luigi'd? And then normal people could afford to live here again. Jeffrey Bezos.
Okay, guys, I am back. I apologize. There we go. So can you imagine crossing the street and you hear Jeff Bezos sound like he's whining about paying some damn taxes?
That's crazy.
That's what that was about, right?
Yeah, I mean, they whoever did that, like, shout out to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, Jeff knows his companies do not pay enough taxes. We know these corporate billionaires are on welfare. They're on government welfare. They're on welfare literally because they're not paying no taxes. I'm talking about Apple. I'm talking about all the Microsoft, all the big boys.
Because they create a lot of jobs, which is understandable.
Well, no, what they do is they do it on purpose. So they purposely have their operations set up in other countries That is how they are able to use these tax loopholes to not pay taxes. Meanwhile, our taxes are going up.
Mm-hmm.
Ours are going up. But when you look at how much they pay, typically it's like nothing. It's next to nothing. So they're real smart. That's why I called it. That's why I said this. It's welfare. They're collecting corporate welfare. We don't think of it like that, but it literally is welfare.
They welfaring over there.
They get all kinds of tax breaks.
Mm.
But folks are worried about, people getting assistance. But what we need to worry about is I won't say the enemy, but the narrative is that, number one, there's more white people on welfare than anything, and government assistance, right? They're the number one users. Number two, we're mad at the wrong people. Instead of some people being upset with people who don't have,
Mm-hmm.
they need to be upset with these corporations
That have.
they got the money to pay.
If you compare a CEO a severance package of $300 million just to leave you alone,
Yeah,
you can afford to pay taxes.
absolutely.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
this probably makes like $30 million a year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being a damn corporate CEO for a big corporation. I'm gonna hold on to that job for 20 years because at $30 million a year, I'm gonna be a billionaire by the end of that motherfucker.
I just need 1 year. That's it.
Give me 10 years.
And
let me rack up $300 million net worth.
It's gravy.
Let me rack up a $300 million net worth. So after taxes, somewhere around 210. No, say 180. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I could retire for that. I'm good.
I bet you, and they probably have all kind of tax breaks. He's not probably. I bet you they're not even paying that amount of tax.
And I'm gonna live somewhere cheap.
Yep. Yeah.
Live somewhere cheap. I'm gonna live somewhere cheap. Find one of those towns that got 3 people in it.
Is you right? Population 4 with you, right?
3 people build a home like $300,000-$400,000. Yeah, I would do that. I'll fix up their home so the value be matched up too. So, it'd be nice for me to do that. But other than that, like I'm not going to sit here and fuck up your value and all that stuff. And send me the tax bill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not going to do that to you. You asked me to move there. But when you're talking about
millionaires want to live around other millionaires.
No, I want to live around regular people.
Okay.
And hide disguised I'm a millionaire because I understand the concept. You live around millionaires, you ain't got to worry about this and that. But look how much money they pay to keep people out of their way.
Yeah, that's true.
So imagine if you live next to somebody next door and you present that you don't have as much, you have much more than them. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to look at you.
Yeah, it's just that when you are at that level, right? People know who you are. It's really easy to find out where people live. You can hide a few little things, but
you seen The Specialist?
Huh?
You seen the movie The Specialist?
Who is that with?
What's my man Rocky? Sylvester Stallone back in the 90s.
I don't think I've seen that one before.
That's how my house gonna be set up.
Oh God! Now I gotta watch that movie because I have no idea. Okay.
Gonna have bombs at the front gate.
Oh God!
So what's my favorite saying? What's my favorite saying? Like Too Short. You fucked around. Time to find out. Exactly what you gonna do when I'm done.
Right. Exactly.
They trespassing. He got a blown up leg or something.
Exactly. I'm sure you would have the dogs, the cane. What is it? Cane torsos, Doberman pinchers. No.
Nope.
No dogs.
No dogs.
I would have me some dogs for real.
No dogs. Just claymores.
Who?
Claymores. I can't go further into that detail.
Okay, because I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
I don't want them to mute our conversation.
Right. Let's change the topic. Okay.
Let's change the topic. Moving on to the next topic. Let's see. I was this old when I found out that a lot of people are about to be at risk because they done fucked around and they gonna find out. According to the Grio, 60,000 Americans to lose their rental assistance and risk eviction unless Congress acts. It will be among the largest one-time losses of rental assistance in the U.S., analysts say. And the ensuing evictions could churn these people back onto the street or back into abusive relationships. Now, moments after Daenerys Espinal walked into her new apartment in Brooklyn, she prayed. She like, oh my God. Ensuing nights, she would be awakened, touch the walls for reassurance, and finding them in a relief that turned to tears over her morning coffee. Those walls were possible through a federal program that pays for rent for some 60,000 families and individuals fleeing homelessness or domestic violence. Espinal was fleeing both. The program, emergency housing vouchers, is running out of money and quickly, and we wonder why. Funding is expected to be used up by the end of next year, according to a letter from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development obtained by the Associated Press. That will leave tens of thousands across the country scrambling, running to pay their rent. It will be among the largest one-time losses of rental assistance in the U.S. Analysts say ensuing evictions could churn these people after several years of rebuilding their lives back onto the street or back into an abusive relationship. You know why? Because many Americans fought around. Time to find out. Voted for Donald Jebediah Trump.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because people are literally going to have to, like you said, they're going to get evicted. If they're relying on government assistance, they're going to get evicted or perhaps go back to some bad situations, right? And not saying she would have voted for that, for that man that folks elected, but we're seeing, because we talked about this several weeks ago, where they cut the U.S. aid program in Georgia, feeding people who need food assistance, food insecurity. They do not care. They do not care. They will not feed you. They will starve you out, and they will put you out. So it's a really hard lesson to learn, unfortunately, and we're paying the price for that. People voted who they voted for, and the people who have the least are going to be the ones that pay a big part of that.
Of course. I just, I look at it in the most, I won't say demeaning way, but in the most diminutive way. You voted for what you got. If you voted for him, you voted for what you got. If your papi, your cousin, your tío, your tías, your babas and your umis, if they voted for Donald Trump, you got what you got. You got what you wanted. Yeah. Somebody who don't give a ass damn about you and what you got going on, who never understood how to lose a dollar. Well, he knows how to lose a dollar, but we're talking about lose a dollar and you can't eat because you lost that dollar.
Right. And it's just a bad time. You got inflation is crazy. You got we're lingering on a recession. Some people will say we actually are in one, right?
Speaking of inflation, this fool called out the head of the help me out here. Not help me out here. The interest rates, the people that have interest rates. Help me out.
The Fed chair. The Fed
chair. This fool calls out the Fed chair and tells him, "Oh, you are a loser, and we are not in recession." So because Donald Trump, quote unquote, says so, that we're not in a recession. Of course, MAGA nuts and MAGA world, they're eating that shit up. Like, yeah, we're not in recession. Like, which part of the United States do you live at? Because all of us is in a recession right now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're the 1%. The 1% are doing okay.
A lot of MAGA nuts are not 1%.
Well, this is true, but I'm saying when you're talking about Trump, in Trump's perspective, he only looks at his stuff, right?
He looks at people like him.
Yeah, he's the 1%. He's the 1%, right? So he looks at his stuff. He don't look at nobody else. So for him, he's like, we're fine. But that's not how most of the country operates, right? Most of the country is, I would even say, lower. Like if you said lower to upper to middle, whatever. Most of the country are lower to middle class. That's the overwhelming majority.
I'm poor.
I'm just saying. I mean, it might not be good times poor, right?
No.
But most people right now are struggling with the cost of gas going up.
Mm-hmm.
We know these tariffs. I just saw a thing today talking about if you order it from like Shein and some of the Chinese sites, like they're going to add tariffs to all your shit. So you need to order before like May 8th or something like that because these tariffs are supposed to hit. So people like the money is not moneying.
Well, you live in France.
I do.
So I'm not calling you out on tariffs, but I'm just saying you're not paying tariffs. You're not going through
I'm
this
not
ordeal.
I'm not paying tariffs. No, you're right. I'm not paying tariffs, but my family is still there,
Of course.
right? So
Yeah.
they're gonna pay it. Like I don't right now. I mean, it's no issue. I think, but I mean, right? I'm here, so I don't have that issue. But
Your
it's about to
family,
get
it's
real
a family to hear them having a struggle because of some jackass and the
because
jackass chief.
they're saying that even what's the DHL is putting like they're halting shipments over like 8K or something. They're halting shipments because of these tariffs. So people are going to it's going to get pretty interesting.
The same way
Unless
Donald Trump ignores judges' rulings is the same way a lot of these businesses need to ignore Donald Trump.
right, right,
If you
right,
can't listen, if you don't want to listen to a judge, then we don't want to listen to you.
right.
Simple.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. That solves all that problem. You see, until you start following the bottom by the Constitution, we're going to start following the bottom by the Constitution or what? Not Constitution, your executive orders. So they shouldn't even pay shit. Like, listen, China, bring it in. We ain't paying that. We ain't charging. Like, no, just bring it in. Like, fuck this dude. Language.
I wish it could be that easy, but I don't think it is.
Putin. Let's ask Putin.
What Putin got to say about it?
He still went. Damn, XF is typing up a lot of shit to him. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. Actually, we got two more. Let's go to this first one. This one is not persistent, pertaining to white women, and this one is about the White House telling them you need to open up wide and start pushing them out.
So have some MAGA babies, right?
All right, so White House assesses ways to persuade women to. That's the article. Assesses ways to persuade women to have more babies. So that's what that right there. Okay, that's what that article is about. How we feel about it. How I feel about it is, women, it's your body. You have the choice. If you're a MAGA woman, please don't have no more babies. If you're a regular person, law-abiding citizen who understands law, civics, and all that stuff, have some more babies. But if you're MAGA, we don't need no more babies. No, thank you.
But you know why they're doing this, though, right? Because we're only 5 years away. 2030 is supposed to be the time, the browning of America, right? That is when, for years, it has been predicted that it would be more of, black people, brown people, people of color than them. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the stuff we're seeing about Roe versus Wade, all of the impacts on birth control access and all of that. That is what this is related to. So it's a bigger issue. And you look at America's favorite baby daddy, Elon Musk, and his 13, he's got what, 13, 14 kids or whatever.
13 kids or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, like this whole have a baby, like there are incentives designed to get them to have to get them to have kids because we know that the Caucasian birth rate is at a record low. They not having no kids. So now they're trying to incentivize them to have children. The problem becomes with that MAGA philosophy. Like this is literally what they're trying to push because they're scared about they are the minority. They are the minority and they are scared. A lot of these policies we're seeing across the board, that is what this relates to.
Well, I can't speak on what women should or shouldn't do. That's not my place on that, other than if you're black, keep knocking them out. Keep having them. If you are a Democrat, keep having them.
I mean, I can. So
Keep
you
having
can't
these
speak on it, but
political
I
babies.
can. I'll speak on it. I'll say, don't have no kids. The way this economy is and this inflation is and all this other stuff, don't have no kids unless you can support them. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, don't have this whole have more. When I say MAG, I'm talking about them, right? I'm not talking
Mm-hmm.
about us. But there's a reason why they're out here trying to talk about trad wives and being stay-at-home moms in some cases, because that is not all it can be cracked up to be, right? All the time. This is no shade on anybody who's a stay-at-home mom or you work outside the home, none of that. But we do know some of these conservative, like focus on the family, some of the Mormon stuff, that they're on that trad wives stuff. So you have to look at the source and who's behind it.
Got to. Got to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to the last one. You guys, you, Miss Madam Producer. Make sure.
Right, but we're not crossing a border. Okay. Are you recording this?
Yes.
So we're not recording, and I know I don't have to answer. You can ask. No, you don't have to. I don't have to answer. I've seen this before, and we did this last year when we were coming back. No, actually, I'm a teacher, and on the national level, we've been talking about this.
You can talk about it.
You can ask me. I don't have to answer.
You are required to answer immigration questions. You are not required to answer any other questions.
And what's your name? Your badge is covered. Come here.
Oh, that's right. Agent Elmo.
I just want to.
E-L-M-O-R-E.
And what is it what's the law that says we have to answer?
If you want to see, hold on. You got a bankruptcy?
Am I free to go, or are you detaining me?
You are being detained, ma'am.
Okay, I'm being detained on what grounds?
It's the immigration checkpoint, ma'am.
Okay, and so what's the ground? What's the violation for being
You know
detained?
what? So just for you, here we go. Right here. U.S. Supreme Court. U.S. Martinez Fuerte.
No, you're covering part of it.
No, I'm there. My point right here.
Right
See?
there.
Checkpoint authority.
So, and it's a checkpoint, and we're not actually crossing a border right now, are we?
Checkpoint authority. Held up by the Supreme Court.
Which?
All right, I'm stopping it because the confusion is she thinks she runs the border.
The confusion is she thinks she runs the border?
Me, yes.
To me, though, but we talked about this yesterday, remember? And you were saying how we had a discussion about, we were talking about, I guess, customs, right? And
Correct.
some of those folks and telling them, like, just, let folks go through. And this is the same thing to me in this situation. This agent is purposely, she's questioning him she's not being disrespectful. She's not acting like a Karen. She's questioning him. She is not being disrespectful.
What was the question that he asked her? Why is she questioning that question?
She has a right to question the question. She has a right.
Well, he asked her, "Do you have any illegal people in your vehicle?"
Yes, and she's saying she's saying he allegedly, they already searched the vehicle. They already searched the vehicle. She asked for proof. Where is proof that you can show me that this is by law? He showed her the little placard, and then she asked him when it was, and then he's like, "Well, it doesn't matter."
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you like this, Tanisha. Anytime you touch any federal ground, you're subjected to their rules and regulations. So that border, no matter where it's at, that is federal grounds. Okay.
But what's the difference between yesterday when we talked about this and we were
the difference is we're talking about them going through their purse and stuff like that and taking out their phones and things like that. That's the part where I disagree with.
They went through her car.
They have the right to search your car. You go on a military base, they have the right to search your car. You go on the VA, you have the right to search your car. You go to any government warehouse, supply warehouse, and they have a guard right there, they have the right to search your car. You go to the federal officer training facility, they have the right to search your car because it's federal grounds. Okay, she does not have the right at that point. Once she left state, she's in federal, and then when she crosses back over, she's back in the state. They ask everybody this simple question: do you have anybody in your vehicle that's not supposed to be in your vehicle? Meaning, are you transporting any humans coming into this country? You simply answer no, and they let you move along. That's it.
This is true, but I don't think it's that simple in this case. I don't think there's much of a difference between our conversation yesterday about the customs, and that's federal property too, and people being unnecessarily these customs, whether they're customs agents, whether they're border control agents,
They're the same.
They are following commands. And so we talked about it yesterday, and they are following commands from that president, right?
No. So Border Patrol has always had their own set of rules and laws pertaining to the entry of the United States. Customs has their set of laws and rules and pertain to entry to the United States of things that are foreign or alien to the United States, right? Because it brings different types of diseases that we're not prepared for or anything like that. Federal Border Patrol is making sure that you are entering the United States legally, right? Remember, I told you when El Paso, 75 miles up the road or 50 miles between 50 to 75 miles up the road from El Paso is a Border Patrol crossing, right? And even though you're in the United States, that Border Patrol is saying you're not in the U.S. right now. We own this part of Texas right now. This is us. And we're allowing, we need to know if you're bringing anybody in here, and are you legal? Are you a resident? They ask you to show your ID. You show your ID, right? All they do is they make it so simple. So the argument is not warranted. They make it so simple. They ask you for your ID. You show your ID in the car. If you roll down the window or whatever, they see your ID. They ask you, do you have anybody in here? No. While they're doing that, they have a dog running around or somebody walking around the vehicle, looking up under the vehicle, make sure nobody ain't do a fireman roll in the vehicle. They making sure they tap the trunk, make sure it's hollow or it sounds like they listening for things.
Can you run?
Can
you run it again? Can you run that clip one more time? Because I think we're missing out a certain part of that interaction. Can you run it again?
I'll run it one more time.
Okay, thank you.
No, actually, I'm a teacher, and on the national level, we've been talking about this.
You can talk about it.
You can ask me, I don't have to answer.
Answer an immigration question. You are not
I'm reading this. You already illegally searched my car. You have no grounds for.
Here's the case.
What? No, because this is not a recent thing.
It doesn't have to be recent, ma'am.
We don't. So are we being detained?
Yes, you are being detained.
For what?
An immigration inspection.
Right.
Would you like to read this?
No, I don't want to stop. I want to. Am I free to go?
No.
I'm not free to go.
You are being detained.
On what grounds?
Right here. I've already told you.
No, you haven't. You've held up a piece of paper in my
INA
face.
287. INA 274.
So I'm being grounded because authority. I won't tell you whether or not I'm a citizen, even though I'm in New Mexico, traveling on a highway that's paid for with federal dollars.
Okay, here.
So federal dollars.
I'm reading this.
You already illegally searched my car. You have no grounds for searching my car with a dog.
Actually,
I've been detained and searched by a dog.
Court. Open air search.
This is interesting. And so
that dog did not go in your car.
So if I just come through and say yes, I'm a citizen, I can just go ahead.
It's justified. If the agent's justified by that answer, yes.
Okay, so if I have an accent and I'm brown, can I just say yes and go ahead, or do I have to prove it?
Well, if we want to.
Because I have a bunch of teacher friends who are sick of their kids being discriminated against.
This is a spike.
Okay. I'll put it in park. I'll put it in park.
I'm trying to.
There you go.
So, I mean, yeah, I think we're talking about like some different things here. She's saying she let them search her vehicle. That was not a point of contention. Her point of contention was specifically with them asking about her citizenship, and then she questioned them back. We cannot, but that's the thing. We talk all the time about people in positions of quote unquote power not speaking up. She spoke up. She asked, why am I being detained? She asked questions, and we know some law enforcement, some authority figures do not want to answer any questions that you have.
He answered the questions.
He asked her. He did ask her the questions.
No, he answered the questions.
She asked, "Am I being detained?"
And he said yes. Now you're being detained. He said yes. Now you're being detained.
Right. She pushed no, and she also asked specifically if his question about are you a U.S. citizen, and then she said, "Okay, so."
Remember I said they asked you that question when you're going through Border Patrol.
Right.
They ask everybody that question, whether you're brown, black, whatever. They ask everybody that question. Now, the problem she has, she's pushing an agenda of, well, my kids are being discriminated against. Nobody asks you about your kids. All they want you to do, yes, we already searched, get the hell on.
But see, I still think we're missing the part, because the whole thing about it is, I think she might have had, and I need to look for some other video because I want to find out what happened after the follow-up, because I'm like, where is old girl? But it seemed like she maybe she was transporting, she had children in the car. Her point was that she may have had some brown kids in that car and they would give her unnecessary grief. When we know if they had little Katie and Kyle go through. That's her point.
Tanisha, if they wave my black ass through, no issue. If they wave my black ass through, no issue. And they wave her through, no issue. What's the problem?
No, but you can't necessarily say that. You can say, oh, they let me through, but the next person they're gonna jam up. Or maybe they look at you the next time. You can't say what they're gonna do the next time. They might think you're Jamaican.
Remember, I code switch.
You are Jamaican, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Remember, I code switch, right? I code switch.
Huh? I know, but they might be like, I don't know.
What if I went through Border Patrol with my accent?
Have you gone through Border Control with your accent?
No, because I code switch.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that's my point too. Like, what if you can't code switch? What if you have a heavy Jamaican accent? You have a heavy Haitian accent. You have a heavy accent that you're from a brown country, Mexico, El Salvador, whatever country you want to pick.
Remember, you come over here.
That agent, we know we're talking about ICE. ICE is coming in and they're dragging people out. ICE is acting like
Border Patrol is not ICE.
But
Border Patrol is not ICE.
They're not. But what I'm saying is you have an administration that is supportive of acting like slave catchers. That's how they are. That's how
I agree with you. I agree with you 100% right there. But that Border Patrol agent was doing his job. I'm not going to disagree on that part. He was doing his job. I've been through Border Patrol quite a few times to know he was doing his job. Okay? Now, if we seen any I didn't see any malicious acts that a police officer would do against myself or you, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't do anything malicious to her. She's asking these questions, and I said, the minute you touch federal grounds, you have no rights until that person lets you go.
Right, I understand that.
None, other than you being a U.S. citizen. He asked that question, are you a U.S. citizen? All she had to answer, yes, I am. Keep it the fuck moving. That's it.
Oh, and all I'm saying is she has a right to ask. For tomorrow, I'm going to look and see if I can find any other clips of her follow-up because or maybe there's an interview with her because I feel like there's a part that we were missing. There's a part that we were missing because she did ask her daughter, are you recording this? I need to find out the context before I fully say. And I get your point that when you are in federal property, I get all of that. I do understand and get that. I just need to find out like what the other part of the interaction because I feel like we're missing something. I don't feel like she would have said the actions that she did unless there was some stuff leading up to that.
Well,
but that's for tomorrow's show.
That's for tomorrow's show because I think she's just trying to push her white privilege and trying to push some other agenda. But tomorrow's show is going to be very interesting.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, that's our time. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the hearts and the love and the likes. We appreciate you all. And until next time, what you going to say?
Stay black.
Stay black. All right. Talk to you later, Tanisha.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.